what does Meghan think she'd actually get in a divorce settlement? Fame and money. Greeting and a gracious welcome to the Royal Staff's channel. So I've been thinking. We all assume that Meghan married Harry in an intolerable cruelty-style fashion. Put some time in, divorce, get a hefty settlement, be set for life. However, I feel like this shows how little she understood the BRF finances and Harry's place within them. Harry does have his own money in an inheritance from Diana. The income from it is estimated to be about $450,000 a year, Esquire. While that might not be able to afford you a super glamorous life in London, LA, or other major metro areas, I think most of us could settle somewhere only a little bit off the beaten path and have quite a comfortable life. Most of his other perks? Those were paid for by Charles, through the Privy Sovereign Grant and the Duchy of Cornwall funds provided to the Princess of Wales for personal expenditures. When Charles was Prince of Wales, he basically provided for his family, but also for many of his charitable endeavours, so it's not like all the money that came to him. It's estimated between £20 million £25 million over recent years and was automatically distributed between him and the boys. He's also responsible for maintenance on his non-palace homes, which I am sure wasn't cheap. I am sure if Meghan and Harry had kept their expenditures reasonable, he could have managed to pay for them, and I am sure upon Charles' ascension, he would have paid for them through Duchy of Lancaster funds. Had they stayed working royals, their lives of privilege, and the charitable works they claim to want to perform, would have been assured. Maybe it's not a Saudi oil magnate or Russian oligarch lifestyle, but certainly affluent enough to curate a well-managed closet of bespoke clothes, the ability to buy their own important piece of jewelry or four, and enjoy top-tier travel with 24 out of 7 of security. However, they've messed that up, all in the name of having a brand and attempting to merge the UK's crown. You can talk about the reported value of their contracts all you like. Most likely, those were inflated to make them look like hot properties, and there's no way in hell Netflix, Spotify, and PRH gave them the full amount. Those were multi-year contracts predicated on multiple pieces of intellectual property which have not been delivered. So maybe they've received a quarter of the reported money at best. The way they spend, on the house, on clothes, on private travel, on private security, they are most likely blowing through that nest egg pretty quickly. Something I think Meghan is most likely quite aware of. Now, she has to be thinking, I have children in line for the UK crown, that must be worth something to Charles, right? But let's look at some modern royal divorces. Mark Phillips divorces from Anne. Reportedly received $3 million in 1989. Worth about $7 million today, after 15 years of marriage. Fergie divorces from Andrew. Finalizing the divorce from Andrew in 1993, they were married about 6 years. Fergie has always been vague about what she received, but in the wake of her pay for access scandal, The Telegraph was given some inside dirt about what she actually received. You can click through for details, but the total value of her settlement, between payments to her and payments to cover the girls' education and trust funds, accounted up to about £3 million over the years. She also did not have to sign an NDA, so she actually earned money from merching her title. She has, of course, blown through all of that, because Fergie will be Fergie. Diana divorces from Charles. Diana reportedly received a $22.5 million lump sum in 1996 plus $600,000 annually for her private office after 15 years of marriage. She lost her HRH, but kept the Princess of Wales title, and the Queen noted she'd still be invited to certain state and national occasions. Autumn Phillips divorces from Peter Phillips. There are no real details of their divorce settlement in June 2021 after about 12 years of marriage, other than it being amicable and it focusing on the well-being of their girls. But despite being Canadian, Autumn Phillips has remained in Gloucester to co-parent with Peter Phillips. Peter Phillips is worth about £14 million and he's a banker, so I am sure Autumn is taken care of comfortably, but in a general well-moneyed way, not truly exorbitant wealth. So clearly, Diana came out with a pretty sizable settlement, but I think that was about Diana being Diana, and the fact that she was still the Princess of Wales and mother to Charles' sons. If she hadn't died, I think she'd still have a place in BRF ceremonies. I sometimes think that's what Harry had have. A huge pile of money, royal status, but the ability to knock off and do whatever he wanted. But the reality is Diana was a special case, and he never actually operated at her level. He has her glow as her son, but he lacks her magnetism and importance in hierarchy. Note that Fergie and Mark Phillips, both spouses to then active senior working royals, didn't receive massive payouts, and there's no saying how much of their payouts came from the personal accounts of Andrew and Anne, to boot. And as far as grandchildren of Queen Elizabeth II go, I doubt Autumn Phillips received all that much. I am sure her settlement was based on Peter Phillips' income and investments. Considering how Meghan has merged her royal association, and the fact Charles and William are clearly absolutely done with her, she has thoroughly burned her bridges with the BRF. I think there's the thinnest possible tightrope left for Harry to come back to the UK. But he'll never be a working royal again, and had be shuttered off in the country somewhere. It really doesn't matter what kind of LA divorce lawyer shark she gets. Harry is not entitled to any sort of annual income from Charles, and any attempts at grabbing at that cash will bump up against Parliament, considering the duchies and the sovereign grant are essentially UK public monies. She didn't even stick around long enough to gain a UK citizenship, so she can waste money on attorneys all she likes. She's not entitled to a penny of UK funds. If Charles chooses to give her anything, as go-away money, it will be very modest and most likely come with an NDA. And if possible, I am betting the money would be in a trust to enforce that NDA. She blabs, they block access to the money. I have no idea if it's legally possible, but I bet that has been looked into by at least one man in a grey suit. If it's not possible, there has been a calculation down to the last decimal place as to what shall be offered, and it's not a generous amount, nor is it a negotiable offer. If anything, I think Charles might establish a trust for the kids, but one that would be managed by the BRF, and not able to be touched by Meghan. That would totally be within his wheelhouse, and he does have personal funds from his recent inheritance from QEII if he chose to use those instead of sovereign grant of Lancaster funds. Meghan herself will most likely only get to split what she and Harry earn together inside the marriage. Maybe she can get the larger proportional share, but only if she gets primary custody of the kids. I doubt Charles would step in to help Harry there. It's a bed Harry made, he has to lie in it. For someone who clearly considers herself intelligent, she has no idea how to play a long game. She could have ensured a life of privilege for her and her children in their lifetimes, and all she had to do was engage in the charity work she claimed she wanted to do. She blew that up quite efficiently, playing her narc games and preying on Harry's insecurities. I think it's become clear he's not a total victim, but I do think it's fair to say she has definitely fed his worst and most short-sighted instincts, not his better and broader view ones. Thank you for watching today's video. To stay up to date with all my future videos, make sure to hit that subscribe button and turn on notifications. If you found this video helpful, informative, or entertaining, don't forget to give it a thumbs up and share it with your friends. Thanks for tuning in and see you next time.